Hey, what's going on? Adam Kaufman here on DK Live with Michael Silver. He is a reporter, a columnist, an analyst, does a bit of everything for NFL Network. How are you?
I am golden. Really psyched, as always, to participate in Super Bowl week. Would be way more psyched with, I don't know, about 70 more degrees Fahrenheit. Great city, great stadium.
Great mall? Maybe.
It's the Mall of America.
Yeah.
So,
the whole country rallies around it.
Evidently. But listen, I would hope that this is the last time I cover a Super Bowl on the North Pole, but that's just me. I'm a Californian.
You've done a bunch of these. We were talking about it. Super Bowl number 25, you said. So, I mean, you've seen about half these things. And at this point, I mean, if things continue at this rate, pretty soon about half of them are going to feature the Patriots.
Sure, because Tom Brady's going to play until he's, 60, no problem.
You ready to count against him?
I think this is I think you should be savoring this as a Patriots fan. And, declines happen fast. It happened fast with Peyton, happened real fast with Joe Theismann. I hope he defies past norms and medical science, and that would be amazing. But to me, I would have kept Jimmy Garoppolo around, at least franchised him and kept him another year. I think Sunday's a great day for Patriots fans. I think starting Monday, you'd rather be a 49er fan, in my opinion.
There's been a lot of drama, obviously, around that Patriots organization. How much of it is true? Who knows? It depends what reports you want to believe. But how close do you think the band is to breaking up?
I believe that a lot of people are out there talking, and that in and of itself is significant. Seth Wickersham's a great journalist. The fact that many sources are speaking to him out of an organization that prides itself on no one ever talking, so that alone is significant. There's always creative tension. In my opinion, Robert Kraft made what is an understandable decision if you're him, and an emotional one, and said, I want Tom Brady to have the ending he wants, and he can stay as long as he wants. I think you could make a strong case for doing it the other way, especially if Jimmy turns out to be as good as he's starting to look. So we'll see. I think, the presumption that it'll always be this way is a trap that we fall into in real football and fantasy football. The Patriots defy it, but age is undefeated.
Bear in mind, though, when Jimmy Garoppolo was traded, obviously he'd appeared in a bunch of games. He'd only started 1.5, during that Deflategate situation. Do you feel like you saw enough with the Niners to believe he's even better than you obviously did at the time when you thought the Patriots shouldn't have traded him?
I've seen enough to make me think he's pretty good. Now listen, they knew him better than anyone. So the fact that they traded him, to me, was an argument that maybe they didn't think he was that good, knowing what they knew.
Based on the report, Bill didn't want to trade him.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I don't think Bill would have wanted to trade him, and I don't think Jonathan Kraft, who is, my age, would have been as thrilled about it. But Robert is older, and it's his, he owns the team. So I don't know exactly what went down. I just know that, Kyle Shanahan's a really good offensive coach, and when he has a quarterback who is at a higher level than what he had in Hoyer and Beathard before that, you start to see he out-schemed the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a great defense, and made their head spin down the stretch. So, I don't know if Jimmy's going to be an absolute star, but he looks pretty good, and I don't think that they're going to end up replacing him with someone better.
This really is quite a scene here at the Mall of America in a lot of different ways, both fun and otherwise. But what I can't get over, and I'm curious as to what you think about this, I mean, keep in mind how desperately, obviously, Vikings fans wanted that home Super Bowl, and to have it snatched away in the NFC title game.
It wasn't snatched away, it was obliterated.
Well, that's fair. The Saints game, that was snatched. But yeah, it was obliterated, but in the sense that they really believed it was going to happen, especially after the Diggs play and the Minnesota Miracle, all that. They thought they were going to have their game, their moment.
I thought something was going to happen last November that I was November 2016 that I was super excited about, and the opposite happened, and I'm dealing with that every day. So obviously, belief doesn't do anything. I was at that great game against the Vikings-Saints game. It was an incredible moment. I think the Saints were probably the best team going into the playoffs. The Vikings found a way to win that game, but sometimes the emotion after you do something epic like that, it's just hard to rev that emotion back up. They ended up looking, oddly flat in Philadelphia. But, take heart, Vikings fans. It wasn't close. It's not like, if they could have just done something a little different. The Eagles earned this, and they did it with Nick Foles.
I just think it's fascinating that the Patriots, so widely hated outside of New England, I don't need to tell you that, are kind of the darlings here in Minnesota, in the sense that, like, Vikings fans, at least the ones I've been around, they're rooting for the Patriots. They don't want the Eagles to win this thing. And there's the obnoxiousness of the Eagles fans doing their fly Eagles fly all around the mall, and it just seems like, I don't know what kind of crowd we're going to see on Sunday. I think it's going to be a good crowd on both sides, quite frankly. I think both travel really well.
I think if Philly scores a touchdown early, you're going to think, are we at the Link? I think it's going to be...
You do.
Hey, they've only been to 3. It's a great, big, proud sports town. They've had an incredible season without their best player, or one of their 2 best players at least. Fletcher Cox is pretty darn good. But, without their all-pro left tackle, who's probably going to the Hall of Fame, their best special teamer, a contributor, Darren Sproles, and, Jordan Hicks, their promising young middle linebacker. Give them a lot of credit. I think the city of Philadelphia is coming for this one. They think it's finally time. First championship in 57 years if they get it.
So give me your prediction.
God, I've avoided making one till now, but listen, if the Eagles can play exactly the way they played against the Vikings, they will win. That's a big if, and the guy on the other side, number 12, is ruthless and amazing. So it's tough for me to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Eagles.